Welcome back to today's chart review. Today was definitely not a very good day. Not a very good day, honestly. I did not trade at all today, and I didn't see any possible trade opportunities. I really don't think that there was a trade opportunity today. These are the days when if I come to the market or if you come to the market and you just try to take a trade today, you're going to lose. Like, these are the days that if you don't take a trade today, you stay disciplined, you stay strict to your plan, and you know what you're looking for. These are the days when, like, I'm happy looking back on the action that I'm at a point in my trading career where I can just sit back and just not have to trade this. Like, when I first started trading, I would have to trade this, but now this is kind of just action that I didn't see was good opportunity at all, and we're gonna go into why that is. Coming into today, I kind of had a loose bias. We'll get into why, and if I'm gonna pull up the charts here. So coming in the morning, I had a pretty loose bias. If you look on the 15 minute, on the hourly, I was bearish on the hourly chart because we've gotten displacement through a low. If we look at this, we had an SMT and now we have displacement through a low. We have a breaker and a fair value gap, which was the draw on liquidity today. And then if we look at the 15-minute structure, which is usually what I base my bias off of, coming into the morning, we kind of had these stacked equal lows. And I really wanted us to keep these equal lows. I wanted us to keep these equal lows. And I wanted us to come up and manipulate this high to then sell lower. So this was what I was looking for, but that never ended up happening. We come down and take these lows. So if we look over to the left on ES, if we look over to the left, we have all these stacked lows here, which I don't love because it's not like currently what price is doing, but to the left of us, we have stacked equal lows that I want the market to come back to at some point. So with just this move that we had yesterday, this displacement through a low, this is the first time we've really gotten displacement through a low. Look at all this. We don't displace through a low. We don't displace through a low. We don't displace through a low. We just sweep it. This is the first time on the higher time frame that we've had displacement through a low. And I'm going to go over my bias in the morning, going into tomorrow later, but I am going to be bearish soon. I'm going to be pretty bearish soon just because we're within this breaker fair value gap on the higher time frame. But basically, at market open, I didn't like anything. I wasn't loving anything, and I was going to be patient until it provided me opportunity. Anytime that I have a loose bias, I just need more information. I'm not going to be able to be super confident with the trade. So the days that I come into the market and I have a loose bias, I really need to see something that clears that up for me. And today, I didn't really see anything that cleared that up for me. So I was bearish on the day. I wanted to see this low be the draw. If I kind of drop down, this is just some generated liquidity that we will run to. And notice how, what else did we do today? We generated another low, and this is possibly another generated sell side level. So if we look at the action, we had like kind of pre-market leading up to when we actually opened, because I wasn't going to trade. Like, there was some pre-market action here that could have been appealing, and I don't want it to get to a point to where the action recently has not been good at all. And I don't want it to get to a point to where, and I don't think that you guys want it to get to a point to when, like, we aren't taking trades, or at least I'm not taking a trade, and I don't want it to be a point to when I haven't traded in a while. I really want to take a trade, so I'm just going to force mid setups. And that's just when you're going to lose your conviction as a trader, and you're just going to start to doubt yourself as a trader if I come into the market, or if you've come into the market and we just all of a sudden start to try and look for opportunity that isn't there. And today was just a day when opportunity was not there. So we come down, we have these equal lows, and we kind of sweep these lows. So we now sweep these lows, and I am looking at, are we displacing through this or are we not? Are we displacing through this low or are we not? And I'm going to actually go ahead and replay this because I want to. So at this point, we come down, we take these lows. I want to see displacement back up in the range to validate that this is the draw. I want to see displacement through this to validate that this is the draw. Pull up the 1 minute. Market doesn't open for a little bit, so I'm just going to go ahead and replay this. So I have a loose bias right now. I want to see something confirm. I'm going to change it to 3. We kind of sweep internal liquidity again. I want to see if we are going to displace through the low or not. We now get displacement higher to validate that the draw is likely going to be this high. I still don't like anything. I want to see displacement through this high to show a clear market structure shift. We kind of have displacement through this high, but for me to be very confident that we're going to go here, I want to see us break through this range. Notice how we have this 15-minute bearish fair value gap. I want to see us break above this and then get a trade up in here to target this draw. Or I can also target the breaker that we have. And we also have this 4-hour imbalance as well that we kind of rebalanced to. I want to see, I actually think there could have been, I don't love it. No, I don't love it because it's equal highs. But I was saying a possible short here to rebalance price isn't bad, but we already took these stack lows here, so I would not say that's good quality. So when is market just opened, waiting. We put in relative equal lows. At this point, I want to see this become the turtle soup. I want to see us come down and soup this low. This is what I want to see. We had news at 10 o'clock, and the 10 a.m. news was insane. The only thing that I see here to possibly take a long to take advantage of this move is an SMT fair value gap, and that just shows you that the opportunity wasn't high quality. So NQ has rebalanced to this 5 minute, and ES is not. That's an SMT fair value gap when ES or NQ will rebalance to an imbalance and NQ won't. At this point, I don't think that we are going to come back down to this fair value gap. I would like to see this soup. I would like to see us take internal liquidity here. I would like to see us take this low and then run. Waiting. Again, waiting. I want things to start to be clear. Notice that we do have this 15-minute imbalance. We could just be rejecting this 15-minute imbalance to then heading lower to these lows. We have equal lows as well down here. All these relative equal lows. I'm expecting the draw to maybe be lower. So we're waiting, and then we get this big news push to invalidate pretty much everything. And once we get a push like this, I don't care to miss any opportunity, and I don't think that there's any opportunity here. Like I don't care. I missed out on this. I missed out in quotations, but I don't think that there was a trade here at all. I was looking for this turtle soup. We never had it. We created equal lows and just ran. There was nothing else I really saw on NQ that was high quality either. So we're waiting. I now want to see us revisit this breaker. The breaker and the fair value gap. I have this breaker marked out. This is the mean threshold of the breaker, and we end up respecting this perfectly. We have this breaker imbalance on the higher time frame, and this is actually looking decent. I want to see some form of internal model. I want to see displacement through a low. I want to see a low bit put in place, and then displacement through a low to validate that we want to go lower. Waiting. I'm waiting. I want to see displacement through a low. Because on the higher time frame, I don't think there's a reason to head to these highs or anything up here. Like, yes, we have a draw on liquidity up here, but people in the live trading were saying that we were likely going to head up here, and I did not think that, because in order to validate that we want to go up here, we have to break above this fair value gap. This breaker, this unicorn setup on the higher time frame. We have a breaker for value gap on the higher time frame in order to validate that we want to go here or any higher. Notice how NQ, it does look a little bit cleaner. NQ does have like these relative equal highs. These relative equal highs right here. In order to validate that we want to go higher, we have to break above the fair value gap, the breaker fair value gap. We have to break above the unicorn. I actually want to mark out consequent encroachment on this as well. I'm curious. Notice how well mean threshold. It's pretty much the same thing. Notice how well we're respecting mean threshold of the breaker block. So I'm waiting. I don't see anything. I need to, in order to validate a short, I need to see displacement through a low. And at this point, I'm not looking to take a long. I need to see more structure to validate anything. I need more candles put in place to validate that we want to go anywhere. We just had a big move. We just had a 200-point move. Anytime the market, oh, well, that's on, sorry, it'll probably be more accurate on NQ. Anytime the market has a big move, what do I need to see? I need to see more structure. 200-point move. We just had a 200-point move on NQ. After that 200-point move, I'm expecting consolidative, sloppier action. And this is exactly what we got. I don't see any high-quality opportunity here. We're consolidating. Look at the volume here. Look at the candles here. The candles are not saying anything. As soon as we see this, just step away from the charts. Do yourself a favor to step away from the charts. Waiting. Oh, we're getting something. Powell actually was speaking right here. Waiting. We get this big push down, and then we have an SMT here. We create an SMT at the lows. SMT at the lows. We get bought up quick. There is no entry here. There's nothing. There's no structure to validate anything. There's nothing. We just end up chopping. Look at what there's nothing here. There's nothing here to base a bias off of. We don't get displacement through any low. Notice how when we might get displacement through a low, we just immediately inverse it. We have an SMT that just pushes back up. So here, if we had displacement through a low, this could kind of validate us going short and maybe returning to these lows or something. Or rebalancing price. But we never did that. We never did. Let's look at where equilibrium is of this range as well. Chop. Nothing. We kind of have a push lower. I at this point, I'm at the gym right now. I'm going for a run. There's nothing to trade. And days like this, times like this, you're just doing yourself a disservice by looking for opportunity. I don't even like a short here. I don't like a short. I simply don't. I don't think that there's a reason to enter short here. Yes, we're within this 4-hour breaker fair value gap. We're within this 4-hour unicorn, something that I want to reject. But there's no model that really validates this. There's nothing. We don't have clear sell side. There's nothing that really validates this. And now we had that push lower. I don't like anything, and then we rebalanced. So there was no high quality opportunity. Did you guys take a trade today? Did you guys trade today? If so, how did it go? If you guys traded today, how did it go? I'm curious this year. How did you guys trade today? I did not take a trade, and after seeing this big move, the AM objective gets taken this high. I need to see structure to validate anything. I did not like anything after this. And these are the times when you just gotta stay disciplined. Disciplined. Say, is it worth it? Is it worth taking a trade after we just had this big move? Yes, action hasn't been clear recently. We haven't had great opportunity. And times like these are when we just need to sit on the sidelines, or I'll just sit on the sidelines and I'll be like, cool, there was no high quality opportunity. I'm happy that I stuck to my rules and I didn't trade today. I did actually take a demo short. I took a demo short. I took it right here. At the time, we had SMT at the highs. Yeah, I took it right here. We had SMT at the highs. I took it somewhere around here. We had SMT at the highs. I put my on the demo. So like I honestly don't care, and then I have my TP here. Which, just looking back, you can say, oh, we did sell off, but I don't care. There's nothing here for me to take a short. I just simply place a trade just to place a trade. It's on the demo account. I really don't care, which I guess you could say it's building bad habits, but it's on the demo account. I'm not losing anything here. So I'm just going to look at what price is doing. And throughout the whole day, I was pretty much just watching paint dry. There's nothing here, and I don't think that there's really anything at all that was very high quality or high opportunity. And I really want to talk about my bias going into tomorrow. And I think that this move is brewing us up for an A+ setup. I think that we will get an A+ setup here. It all depends on what we do in the overnight session. But if we just look at this, we've now had displacement through a low. We have a breaker. We have returned to the fair value gap. If we look, we are. Why did my consequent encroachment go? Did I delete it? We're now holding consequent encroachment, or sorry, mean threshold. I keep on calling it consequent encroachment. It's pretty much the same thing. We're now holding mean threshold of this breaker block perfectly. Notice the candles. Notice the bodies. At least on the 4 hour. Notice the candles here. Respecting this perfectly. So we now have rebalanced to this 1 hour fair value gap. We do have this big fair value gap, this big move. We have now rebalanced to it. I'm not going to predict or try to predict exactly what the overnight session is going to look like or what London's going to look like because I simply don't care. But my bias pretty much depends on what we do in the overnight. But after looking at this price action here, if I were to look at this, I mean it isn't as high quality because we have highs that we have left here. So that's why I'm pretty loose, but I'm more bearish than I am bullish. Because we're within this breaker, we're within this fair value gap. This is perfect what we want to see to reject. Breaker fair value gap, high confluence to reject. We now have generated sell side below us. So this could be brewing us up for a good quality opportunity. I'm going to stay patient and I'm not going to force anything. I've taken one trade this week. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, wait. I think just one trade this week. The small loss I had yesterday. I'm not 100%, but times like this when we're just not having good high quality opportunity, it's times when we can just sit back and just not rush anything, not force anything. Don't try to force this opportunity. Don't try to catch a trade just to try to catch a trade. Let the trades come to you, and that's going to be my approach going into the next week. Like, I haven't traded in a while. I haven't seen any high quality opportunity. I want to see high quality opportunity. I want to see clean price action. I want to see efficient price action. None of this is really efficient. Oh, sorry, I'm on the higher timer. None of this is really efficient. Yes, we have a clean move to the upside, but there's no real entry provided here. So don't force anything just because you want to take a trade. That's going to be my mindset. That's what I'm going to be focusing on. We now have generated sell side, generated sell side, generated sell side. So I would like to see us reject this breaker and maybe put in some structure that looks like this in the overnight. But I'm not going to predict. I'm not going to try to predict what that looks like. But I would like to see something like this for tomorrow. This is what I would like to see to push to the draw lower. If for some reason we break above this, which I don't think we will because of how well we respected mean threshold of this. If we break above this, this can validate us to go to these highs. This can validate that we want to push to these highs, and we'll probably continue to make all-time highs. But now it has been the first time when we have put in an SMT at the highs, and now we're starting to get some displacement lower through a low. So this is exactly what we want to see on the higher time frame to reject, and it's all going to be dependent on how we're looking overnight. But I really don't have anything else. Is there anything that y'all saw that I didn't point out? But days like today are when discipline's gonna show. Discipline's gonna show. You're gonna be tempted to take a setup just to try to take a trade, but I can guarantee you that the market just isn't clear today. The market just wasn't clear to me today, so I'm not gonna force anything. And I'm gonna continue to not force anything and stay patient until it's clear. But the action recently just has not been in it. But that's really all I got for you guys. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Don't force anything. We do have equal lows below us, so I'm expecting the draw to be here just because all these stacked equal lows. So that's what I'm looking at.